Goodness gracious. Oh my goddess. Let me get my other phone. I need to look up some info here. You know, something told me to go um, and look and see what my boy, the General Cyrus Sutin, said he was talking about. And I noticed, I checked out his past couple of months of videos, and I noticed that he was talking about Haitians being deported. Oh man, I was restarting my phone and didn't bring it back up. Let me turn this other phone back. Actually, I can look in this other phone I got. So I wanted to come and talk about it because, of course, there seems to be a lot of controversy surrounding Haitians being deported again. I want to look up what happened at the Supreme Court real quick. I'm going to look that up. Give me a second. I just need to bring up my other phone. And I wanted to talk about a few things. You know, here's what I will tell y'all. Is that since Trump has been in office, I have fought a lot of battles with negative energy. I'm preaching to the choir, huh? Yeah, I fought a lot of battles with negativity, specifically pointing at that. And this, my friend, is one of the reasons why I do not like what the algorithm has done to my channel, because there are so much more other important things to think about and to talk about. Let me look up what happened at the Supreme Court with deporting Haitians. So apparently there's like this controversy in social media, which, you know, I don't understand why controversy gets started up because of a few people making, you know, videos or posts in social media. So apparently, okay, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled 6-3 to allow Trump administration to end temporary protected status, exposing more than 350,000 Haitian nationals to potential deportation. The decision concluded that federal courts cannot review executive decisions to terminate TPS and rejected claims of racial discrimination. So the ruling issued on June 25th of 2026, the 6-3 conservative majority opinion authored by Justice Samuel Alito ruled that the TPS statute gives the president unreviewable authority to end humanitarian designations. The majority found that plaintiffs from Haiti did not prove their equal protection claims of racial bias against the administration, and lower courts were overturned. The ruling lifted previous lower court orders that had temporarily blocked the government from stripping these protections. So the impact on Haitians: loss of status. Roughly 350,000 individuals from Haiti who lived and worked legally under TPS faced the expiration of their legal permissions and work authorizations. All right, safety concerns. Human rights groups and advocates note that deportations return people to Haiti amid severe gang violence, political instability, and food shortages. Oh my goodness. Immigrant families and legal defense organizations are scrambling to look at remaining individual claims, such as separate asylum requests, while urging Congress to create permanent legal pathways. So, yeah, this was about 11 hours ago. So, here's the thing, and this is one of the reasons I despise that those beef sectors, black sectors that are talking about things that we don't need to be focused on. Literally, the rug can be getting pulled from underneath folks. A missile could be headed towards your head. And for some reason, the algorithm that I was forced pretty much to be involved with is a bunch of males that I would never sleep with talking about their penises, which is ridiculous. And we got to pay attention. Really, really, really need. Okay, what's up with all these notifications? Dang. We really, really need to start paying attention. So, when Trump went into office, when I was in Georgia, it was scary. Oh my God. It was scary. That was when the deportation started, was when I was in Georgia. And the one thing that I had an intuition about was providing protection. I don't have any clients that are from other countries. I don't have any. All of my clients seem to be Americans, okay? And the one thing that I was concerned about was violence, identity problems, possible harassment, possible crimes being committed. And so just the whole thing, not just that, but just like the negativity in general, just the bad juju floating around in the air. Seriously. So what I did was protected myself, my collective, all of my loved ones from a lot of this stuff that is going on. And the one thing that Spirit keeps telling me is, with all of these thousands of people being deported, curses being thrown at America in general, which a lot of people are like, well, big deal, Jamila, America is already cursed. Listen, nah, I'm going to tell you something. This is bad. This is bad. Apparently, the president deems it as necessary. To be honest with you, all of us, including a lot of white people, are immigrants. Ay, ay, ay. So pretty much, I'm going to update our protection for that. I warned people, like, I know people personally that were fired from very good paying government jobs. And I warned people about that. I warned people. I did. I did. And everybody told me that I was of the devil and that I'm a witch and that I needed to be quiet because I am just of the devil. You know what I mean? Like, it's not funny. It's not funny at all. But since Trump has been in and out of office, as a witch, I've been paying attention. And it's not that I've been trying to curse him or anything like that. Because I don't want to go on Trump's shit list. I'm not trying to, yeah, no. Not trying to do that. I had enough problems. Y'all need to pay attention, though. I think it's stupid. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. And I'm not sure who is the damn brains behind. I guess it would be somebody that's trying to get their shmoney, would be the brains behind, not paying attention to making sure that you're protected from all of this negativity. I mean, a few days ago, I don't know why, I just kind of felt funny. I was like, what is this feeling I'm getting? And I could feel something. And I knew it was a conglomerate of different things, trust me, because you would think that I was like God and people were complaining. Like, I get so many people either trying to take their crap out on me, blame me for their problems. Like, y'all don't know what the fuck I go through. And so anywho, I felt something a few days ago. Like, it was just like, what the hell is going on? And then I felt like this itchiness kind of in my ear or whatever. And then there it is. So I think what's important is protection, because I'm going to tell you something. These folks getting deported back to Mexico, back to Haiti. Listen, I love this whole world and I love everybody in it. Even though they don't know me, they don't love me, and they probably spit in my face. But I gotta keep it real when it comes to folklore, people's beliefs, a group of people, a collective consciousness, curses, ritual, and all of that good stuff. So that's one of the things that we protect from. Just FYI. I know that for me, I mean, the thought crossed my forehead. It really did. Like, being out there just kind of roaming around and then bloop, 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 blah, 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 or bloop, bloop, bloop. Here comes ICE or something. Hey, where's your identification? Like, I was kind of born in America. Are you an anchor baby? Was your parents an anchor baby? No, we were not. So, that within itself was something that, the hell was that? Why my remote? That was something that was of real concern. And so I covered all of us in protection, and I was going through it. There was times when me and my boys was like, we were staying at hotels in Georgia. Yeah, before Aries got us out of there. Um, there would be times in Georgia where we'd have to pack our stuff, take it outside, sit outside until the money came in. Sometimes it was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. At the same time, coincidentally, the tomfoolery was still going on. Um, what was crazy is that a lot of the people that were attacking me, I'm sure that I was protecting. That's just it. That it sucks. It sucks to be protecting people that are dogging you out. That's just like, wow. Wow. So that's when I said, I'm going to do something about that because, no. Like literally people don't understand what witches do, especially the ones that are paying attention to what's going on and have an understanding. Yeah, Delphine, it's crazy. It's as an empath, it was horrific. Is how I would describe the feeling, especially in 2025 with a lot of the initial deportations, and then added to that, seeing these scary videos on the news of people being unalived and fighting with ICE. And I just was like, oh my God, what is going on? It was really horrible. So, I did the protection, the initial protection. I'm going to tighten up on it though and do something stronger on the protection. Probably sometime this weekend. Today's Friday, probably Saturday. I already have several things going. Probably what I've already done is sufficient, but just recognizing the next level stuff that's going on, like if you're a brown person or melanated person, that can be very alarming and concerning. I did my protections and I always have faith in what I do. Um, and, everything's been okay, you know? But you got to think about that. I know that I was concerned about people that I love being on the highways because over here in Missouri, and I ain't heard about it since either. In fact, I ain't seen no ICE trucks or nothing. I haven't seen it anywhere. And I'm just glad that I haven't. It's concerned about people being on the highway. I've driven on the highway, you know what I mean? Just kind of like, what is it? What's going on? What could happen? Are we going to be involved with a high-speed chase? Somebody flying down the street? Bullets flying everywhere? Those are the things that I don't think about it all the time, but, those are the things that, to me, are important, So, just FYI to my people that are either thinking about joining me on Patreon, or just in general coming to see me, those are things. And I'm not saying publicly that if you are an immigrant that I can stop you from being deported. So for some reason, I can't make those kind of claims publicly because I'll get harassed and attacked. Probably because people know that my spells and rituals work. That, they know that I even have it on my channel that the readings that I do, the spells that I do is not for entertainment purposes only. I'm not going to put for entertainment purposes only. Nope. So, I'm not an actor. I don't cosplay as a witch. I'm not entertaining people. It's real. It's real. It's real. It's real. Okay. So, I just wanted to come in and say that, especially when uh the pandemic that we had in particular, the pandemic that we had. I never forget hearing about it, and then we were on lockdown, and in fact, that's when the foolery got worse. Like, it's like, shouldn't you be concerned about other things? Surely no one needs to be arguing. Arguing and a bunch of stress actually lowers the immune system. You know what I mean? So that's not good. And so what I did was I just made a few suggestions about herbs and things of that nature, made my Four Thieves vinegar, and next thing I know, I was getting an email from YouTube saying that I was giving medical advice and that I needed to not do that. And I could possibly pull up the email that they sent me by searching for WHO, which is the World Health Organization. And I'm thinking, get the hell out of my face with that. But, they did kind of ding my channel. So, yeah. And that's just what that is. But, my concern was like stray bullets and just violence and just bad things and just bad juju and bad luck. And then also another thing that I have noticed, we're having record heat all over the world. And people say, oh, that's global warming. I don't really believe in global warming. I think it's something else. I do. I think it's energy. I think it's us. I think it's us. I think it's our energy and what we put out there. And I do believe that some stuff is being thrown at Americans, in particular, Black Americans. Y'all notice that? I've noticed that because it's weird. Okay, so that's why I wanted to come and talk about this whole thing where, Haitians are mad at Black Americans saying that Black Americans need to be deported too, or something that I was hearing. And I'm not worried about that. But what I was thinking about was, I believe that when they deport them people, they throwing back curses. And I think that that's something that we need to think about. If you are an immigrant from a country like Haiti, you're concerned about dying. You're concerned about being murdered by cartels or gang violence and things of that nature. So that means that there's going to be some pretty cathartic feelings and emotions about that. You're being forced to go back to a country that you were running from, which is understandable. And then, let's face it, a lot of Black people from other countries, and they're Black, they don't have no respect for Americans, period, but especially Black Americans. They kind of look down upon us. And so for me, I wanted to be protected. I wanted my collective those who are on my list of protected ones to be protected from curses. If you are forced to go back to a country that you don't want to live at because you were facing death and destruction, why wouldn't you wish death as a collective on the people that you feel are in a better place than you? You know? And, I suppose that if somebody would have compensated me, I could have persuaded the decision to be different. At least I'd have did my part. But I'm trying to survive out here with my babies too. So, I got to think about them. And then, of course, the few clients that I'm working with right now, and just, you know what I mean? So, but that is something to think about. It is. It's something to think about. And I've been noticing that. Like, I noticed, I was looking at some video that I had ran across, right? And I wasn't even subscribed to this person. I was messing around with that homepage again. And that person was mentioning that the energy was just very weird. I think she's like a practitioner. And people was in the comment section saying, yeah, the energy is very strange, and it has been. And so this would be the reason. I think that they made that decision like back in June. I wasn't paying attention. Well, I had just celebrated a birthday, and then I was living life. But then also dealing with many, many problems for, not just my problems, but then problematic people on the interwebs who really need to find something else better to do because, this is one of the reasons why I have an issue with those people, because I think that there are more important things that people need to focus on. You know what I mean? That's just my opinion about the situation. You can disagree with me if you want. That's fine. But I just think that it's a waste of energy. It's a waste of time. It's silly and stupid. And, obviously, and like, surely a lot of you guys know that I've already done some very, very, very powerful work to make sure that stalking doesn't affect our health. Stalking doesn't affect our livelihood. Stalking doesn't affect our emotional health, our mental health, or anything, relationships. So stuff like that. I mean, I've got several workings to make sure that that doesn't affect, like actually have an effect. And so far it's been working. It has been. Okay. So, because wasn't nobody going to force me up out of my family's home. And then I just think they need to cease and desist. That's so silly. So silly. I just know how to handle stress, y'all. I'm very good at it. I am very good at keeping calm in any situation. Except for if there's some kind of violence against my loved ones, then that's when then that's when I'm gonna go into battle mode and whoop somebody's butt. Okay, but otherwise I'm very good at not just keeping calm, but also usually diffusing situations. And I think that that's why a lot of people that are very high strung, just the thought of Jamila just calms people down. You know, it does. It really does. You know what I mean? So, but that's something to think about. That's something that I think that a lot of people need to think about. And you should be protecting and shielding yourself from, not just the whole process of the deportations and the obvious danger that it can bring and casualties that it can create of innocent people. But then also the people that are being deported that's going to these other countries, and they're all being sent in groups. And so that would make it a collective consciousness. And it's been getting fed for over a year now. So that's another egregore that we just need protection from, shielding. You know what I mean? Because what can we do about it? I mean, I could have done something about it. Obviously, it wasn't meant for me to do anything about it. And that is because of the situation that I was in when I got back home to Kansas City, Missouri. I had to stay with family. And, with still being gang stalked on the internet. You know what I mean? So, it's kind of like, nah, I gotta make sure that, we're good, that we're safe, and, have went through, like I said, many, many battles. But that's the one thing that, that's another thing that every now and then I have to think about. And I have to deal with. And So anywho, you guys can actually get updates via my Patreon on stuff like that. And I'm going to be putting up a Patreon video, actually, kind of like a reading, because we have the full moon is coming up was that on the 28th of July? So we're already preparing in advance for the full moon. And then we're preparing in advance for the new moon. That is in August. Okay. So that's one of the bare minimum things that you can do. I decided to do the Patreon thing in addition to the individual client cases because women have been under attack a lot, which is something that in hindsight of like something that's being ignored is the ongoing war on women and the anger and the misogyny against women. So, that's why I wanted to come up with something that you guys could afford that would get you something. It's not gonna, necessarily, get you $1 million. It could. You never know. If it does, make sure you give me my 6% of it. If you're a patron and you win the lotto, don't forget about your girl. It ain't got to be 6%. Unless I do lottery work for you, which I don't do lottery work anymore. I'll do it, but I don't like to. Because I feel like I don't want to say that it's rigged, but it's got a lot of enchantments around it. The lottery does. Like, it's not something that I even advertise. You know what I'm saying? Because no. And it's, the numbers and everything back in 2017, boy, no wonder I became a target by not just certain people. Like, people don't realize that you're not the only ones targeting me. Hello. I'm kind of like public enemy number one again in this lifetime. But there used to be a time, y'all, when I would give away lucky numbers, and then I would also do Powerball readings. Oh, that got shut down like after a few months because, it's kind of like, yeah, they don't want too many people winning the lotto. You know what I'm saying? Like, now. And then plus with the lottery, so much energy goes into that jackpot, so it's kind of like a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. Remember I was telling y'all about Kelly Price and how she needs to cleanse her money? Yep. So I just wanted to let you guys know that, and shout out to all of the Haitians. I love you guys. You know what I'm saying? And what is up with, America is violent too. We have gang violence, gun violence. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. Maybe they feel like it's not that bad. I watch a couple of people that are Haitian on here. Some of them, like a few of them, do talk about the problems in Haiti. But a few of them that I watch, I don't think all of Haiti is like going through it. Yeah. It's very perplexing as to what is going on. And then also with Mexico, you know. So I don't know. But I'm just saying that with all of this going on, protect yourself. Now I know last year I did do a lot of power work, a lot of work when during the government shutdown. You know what I mean? Because let's just say I did a lot of prayer to the gods that these babies out here don't starve. And really, it was just like, God help it. I actually think that if Trump hadn't have fixed it when he did, I feel like he would have been worse off with his health. I feel like some negative karma would have cut him down. Because that is horrible. Like, that's hard. Not that I would cause it. I'm not threatening the president whatsoever. Okay? But, that would have been bad. That would have been bad. It's like, oh my God, please don't do that, So, just wanted to let you guys know that I'm going to try to figure out what topics. I try to come on here and discuss, like there's a lot of things that I could come and talk about. Just that are outside of magic and witchcraft. But, political stuff and what's happening politically is very relevant. It's very relevant. Okay? It is. So, because that affects us. It affects everybody. Just the negativity and stuff floating around in the air, and how that's going to affect people. But I share with you guys that with my own money, just like if y'all remember when I was still in Georgia, I took my own money and I invested in a whole ton of sage. Took it outside, burned it. I was actually staying in an extended stay. They said I couldn't burn my sage in the parking lot, so they said you can go over there and do it. Then I had the people that own like a restaurant over there. He was like asking me about it. And it was so funny. He confronted me about it. And, my spirits persuaded him to just say, you know what, ma'am, I'm sorry. Please just burn your sage and everything's fine. And I was like, well, thank you. But if you guys remember, I was burning sage because there was explosions. A biochemical plant had exploded. I didn't want my family breathing that air. There was also a hurricane that devastated the town over in Georgia. And I did hurricane protection and we were not touched. However, when I went outside, oh, the evil, I could feel the evil. Oh, it was so evil. Oh my God. It was just like, wow. People were shocked because they expected more damage. Like, they were like, what the hell is going on? And I'm like, I'm here. I'm not about to sit up here. And so the day of the hurricane, we basically just had a bunch of wind and rain, and it just rained. So over where I was, we was over in Lilburn, Georgia. And so that was really interesting. Anywho. But the reason why I brought that up is because I want the economy fixed. So I know that over here at Divine Services Apothecary, we are going to be asking the gods to fix whatever is going on with the economy. Even though I'm already doing that, please understand that when I'm putting the spirit in the air, it is making things go. It is moving that stagnation. It is producing energy. And so basically when I do that, that's what that's going to produce a situation that is going to allow for things to flow, right? For example, when I burn my ancestor money, I tend to do that outside because it produces a lot of smoke that I'm not going to burn in the house unless you burn just one or two pieces. But I still have a whole, like I have a ton of ancestor money. And doing that produces money. And, so it makes no sense. For me, I don't produce poverty. I produce money and abundance and prosperity is what I produce. Okay. So I'm not going to be wishing nothing, no kind of nothing on nobody. I don't like doing that. I don't like doing that. You know what I'm saying? If it's somebody that's going to use their money to hurt me, then obviously, But, so that's something that probably Saturday or Sunday, I'm going to be getting a delivery of sage to burn to assist and help the economy. It's just kind of like doing my part or whatever. Because we need that. We need the economy to be stimulated for the people, straight up and down. And I actually had gotten some extra sage. I don't know how I had gotten it, but I had gotten some extra sage. I was like, how'd I get this extra sage? It's like, burn it. So y'all know that when I burn my sage, I use my eucalyptus or either like camphor as like a accelerant. We burn it. Now, if y'all remember, one day I was burning sage for that same purpose of healing, peace. Somebody from that group called the fire department. It's like, do you realize why I am burning sage? So that, my friends, is the reason why y'all have not seen me burn anything outside, because those people are nuttier than fruitcakes. Literally, I was doing a sacred Native American ritual outside. I showed it to you guys. They sent the fire department. Of course, the fire department isn't going to do anything. Like, they came and the sage was already done being burned. It was like just a little bit of smoke coming up out of my cauldron, my pot. And they were very friendly, and they were just like, but it's like, why are you calling the fire department? Are you stupid? Like, why would you do that? Like, that's ridiculous. Like, do you realize that I am helping people when I'm doing this? Like, ridiculous. Ridiculous. You know what I mean? So that's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. This is part of the reason why these gang stalking groups and cults need to sit down and have several damn seats. Hold on, y'all. Be right back. It didn't change anything. Them calling the fire department did not change the intention of that sage burning. It didn't change anything. But it's just the point. Like, what you don't understand, you need to just not bother with right now. Like, literally, it was healing, and that's just like I did a sage burning. uh I did a sage burning for that one thing, to protect my collective. And as you guys can see, we have not heard about the weird cruise ship outbreak. We ain't heard about it ever since. Okay, because I believe that people was like, now wait a minute, now we not about to, like, what is going on? Notice how it wasn't a thing, and we wanted to make sure it wasn't a thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's just been back to back to back to back. Just like, what is going on with these people? I have a theory that they're possessed. I feel like we are dealing with a lot of the world leaders and stuff. I feel like they are possessed, bro. Like, what is going on? Like, why? 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 But a lot of people are running around here possessed, and it's like, well, what is wrong with y'all? Why? Because why would you? Well, I mean, why would you? And it's crazy because they're paranoid. They believe that every single thing that we do, we're doing it to hurt them or something. It's like, well, nobody's trying to hurt you. We're just trying to survive and flourish. What the hell is wrong with you? So I guess us surviving and flourishing would hurt them. I just don't get it. Honestly, it's weird. So I want y'all to think about that. Those of you that come on into my Patreon and become a patron, that is something that we do our due diligence to protect from. In particular, the stuff that's being thrown back to the United States. In particular, a lot of the stuff is being thrown, for some reason, at black people, by black people. Like, if you look it up, you'll see where Haitians are pissed off at black Americans. And it's like, that's absolutely insane. So I think it would also be very interesting for us to, like, read those countries, period. So, let me know if that's something that you guys would be interested in, like reading the different countries, just like the general energy within that country. Because, there's a lot of land spirits and water spirits and air spirits that, if y'all want to look at, we can, because I'm curious about Haiti also. I think that somewhere down my bloodline we may have, some Haitian, you know what I mean? Possibly somewhere down the bloodline. Possibly, I think on my grandmother's side, personally, you know what I mean? Hold on, guys, I might lose signal. And if I lose signal, I'll come right back, and hopefully I won't lose my damn audio. I'll make sure that I don't lose audio though. So anywho, yeah, that's a concern. And then not only that, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like we have to be at war with those people. Like with, as I'm back. I'm back. Sorry about that. Yeah, I lost signal. So anywho, yeah. That's pretty much it. Something I wanted y'all to think about. You know what I'm saying? Is, especially if you kind of been feeling some type of way, but you've been a little distracted and you've been looking at other things, if you kind of just feel something feels off, that would be why. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, that would make sense, because whenever something happens, it's just kind of like, I feel it. We feel it, especially empaths. So, and I think that empaths should protect themselves and shield themselves, and everybody should, not just empaths, but because when you feel stuff deeply like that, you never know what impact it's having on you. And I can tell you that when I was in my 20s, I was so lost. Like, I had such bad anxiety because of everything that was going on in the world. It was just like, I had no idea that I was an empath at that time. I had no idea. It is literally sprinkling out here. I hope it rains. Hopefully it'll rain, y'all. So anywho, all right, y'all keep your heads up. Make sure that y'all join me on Patreon. I don't have the link in the video description box because I need to update my links, is what I need to do. But I will put it on the community wall again, or either bump the post where I shared the link, is what I'll do. I'll bump the post. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. You know what? It was almost like, let me tell y'all what I was feeling. It was almost like I felt like it wasn't coming from me, but it was like I felt other people that had like very heavy hearts. Like something was going on. It was like, whoa, you know? But all right, y'all. I'll catch y'all later. Y'all enjoy y'all's rest if you're going to sleep, okay? I know I am. I'm getting ready to fall asleep very soon. Y'all have a good night. Blessings. Bye.